Welcome back to Sunnydale Live, and today I'm talking about Puppet Show. For my money, one of the more memorable episodes from season 1 because it gives us Sid. Sid the Dummy. Who doesn't love Sid the Dummy? Alright, so brief rundown on what the episode is. Well, in season 1, they kept doing this thing where they're like, let's be Scooby-Doo and investigate and question people in school. Let's have montages of everyone asking everyone questions. I'm kind of glad they moved away from that as the show goes on. But that's very much what happens here. So there's a talent show. We meet the new principal, Snyder. One of the more memorable non-villains of the show. If you're a big Star Trek nerd like myself, you might recognize him as Quark from Deep Space Nine. But, so he forces Giles to manage the talent show. And you see everyone performing. Cordelia, which I guess kind of sets up her moving to LA in a couple years, is trying to perform and be all famous, but she sucks. She's horrible at singing. But she doesn't know she's horrible at singing, which is what makes it funny. Buffy, Xander, and Willow make fun of Giles for being part of it, and then Snyder catches them, and that's our introduction to Snyder. He forces them to be part of it. And Snyder is the exact opposite of Flutie. So Flutie was the stereotypic bleeding heart liberal, like everyone needs a hug and love and happiness and joy. I love everybody. Like over the top ridiculous. And Snyder's like, school would be great if it wasn't all for these damn kids. I hate them all. They need discipline. They need structure. I don't care about their feelings. Very hard-nosed. Rah! And it's played up even more in this episode because this episode's kind of a murder mystery. So people start dying. People from the talent show start dying. And like the first girl had her heart cut out. But with the knife, so it's like, was it a demon or was it a human? Because why would a demon need a knife? So then we start investigating everyone, and it keeps coming back to this dude Morgan and his dummy Sid. When he first comes on, he's really bad. You can see his mouth moving, everything, but then all of a sudden it becomes really good, and it's very obvious early on. Oh, the doll's alive. It was very much that stick. And everyone is like, well, Morgan was talking to her. Everyone points the finger at Morgan, except for Cordelia, who called the girl who died Emily. Oh, Emma was my best friend. And then there's like, her name was Emily. But what if it had happened to me? It could have been me who died. It just turned the whole thing to be about her. Cordelia is one of my favorite characters on Angel. I think she grows up and becomes such a strong, powerful hero in her own right. She's very much a champion. But I forgot how vain she is on Buffy. It's like, my lord, like, so shallow. But it's fun. You gotta love Cordelia, even in the early seasons. Buffy's freaked out by dolls, and so then it becomes: is it a human who killed it? They think maybe it's Morgan, but then they think, oh well, there might be a demon that needs to collect 7 organs to stay human every 7 years, and then there's the theory that well maybe it's Sid. Because a doll that looks human, so it could be a doll, mannequin, whatever, inanimate object that has human characteristics, that's possessed by a human spirit, could become human if they collect organs. So then it's like, well, which one of these 3 things is it? And it's very much leading to either Morgan's a serial killer, Sid's trying to become human, or maybe Snyder is some kind of, like, Snyder's killing people. Maybe he's a demon, maybe he's just a murderer, but they're really painting the picture that Snyder's behind it. Because he threatens Buffy a couple times, catches her in weird places. And so, you know, you have this murder mystery thing going. And then Morgan is killed, has his brain cut out, and that's should be the last organ. And Buffy and Sid fight, and they both are like, you'll never be human. And they're like, wait, what? And so we like, oh, well, something's wrong here. So it turns out that Sid was a demon slayer, got trapped in the body of a doll, and he's hunting those 7 demons that they were talking about. And Snyder's just an asshole. So now they're trying to find the last demon. And it turns out it's a magician, and they think he's going to hunt Willow because they find out that Morgan had brain cancer. And so his brain wasn't useful for the demon. So they're like, oh, he's gonna go after Willow, completely ignoring the fact that Giles exists until they realize, like, oh shit, he's after Giles. Buffy's trying to find a way to kill the demon without Sid dying. Sid's like, no, death is released. I've been around too long. I'm ready to go. It's so he kills the last demon and he's free. It's really sweet. It's a really good episode. I think it's one of the stronger episodes in the first season. And it has, in my estimation, one of the best lines of the show. Snyder catches Buffy and he's like, there are 3 things I won't tolerate. Students loitering at school after hours, horrible murders with their hearts cut out, and smoking. And it's just like, that is such a weird, oddly specific list. Well, you gotta love it. Like, he's trying so hard to be a hard ass that he just comes off as weird and awkward. You have to love it. It's brilliant. It really is brilliant. So then, but I also love that it's one of the few episodes of the show where when the credits roll, it just doesn't roll the credits. It has Buffy, Xander, and Willow doing their drama stage reading in front of the audience. And it is so weird and bad and cringy. You gotta love it. It's fun. And I think that's what we need. Like, we have these shortened seasons of television shows now where everything's so short and you don't have time for filler episodes. I actually think you notice it the most in Star Trek shows because Star Trek was so much filler. Most of the old shows were all filler. Enterprise kind of went back and forth a little bit. But it's something that they used to do that would just, here's this throwaway episode that's completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things. But it's fun. And it's just random, and you get to know the characters better, and you get to just have a good time. And I think television is lacking for that. They used to say, like, you'd have like 6 good episodes, 6 bad episodes, 6 mediocre episodes. And it's just like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, yeah, you have some episodes that are like, that's not great, but some of those episodes, they have nothing to do with the overarching story, turn out to be the best, the funnest, most enjoyable episodes. And I think losing that is a travesty. I think we need that back. Because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have episodes like The Puppet Show. But I'm Jonathan. Sunnydale Live. Give us legends.